Welcome back to the Patient Man channel. Sorry, that was really nice. That was really nice. Here we are again in the lovely, lovely beach. Seagulls joining me. Then I got no food, I got no chips, but anyway, it is what it is. Today's subject, allow me. It is not that. Today's subject, everybody. Peer pressure in adulthood. Peer pressure in adulthood. A lot. There is a lot of peer pressure in adulthood. And I think scenarios of, let's go for a walk. Camera, follow me, all right? I feel like peer pressure to me is people overstepping your personal boundaries and making you feel out of your body. So the experience that you're going through is not a decision of your own, it's peer pressure. And that comes down to, I believe, is not actually understanding your own boundaries in yourself and implementing them in a healthy way. Because there's going to be people in life always that are going to overstep your boundaries. Your boundaries are going to be stood over daily. But it's up to you as a man to be able to presently, confidently, not aggressively, sometimes aggressively, but not always, to apply your boundaries, put them in, so then peer pressure doesn't apply to you, because you can see what someone's trying to do, you can understand their intentions, and then from there, you can make a decision, a conscious decision, whether it suits what you believe in or whatever it might be. Now, peer pressure is horrible as a teen years, children. We all are impressionable because that's what we're doing in the world. We're here to learn. The first parts of our life are learning. So we copy each other, we do certain things, we copy fashions, we copy language, we copy everything. Everything's copied. So there is a degree of peer pressure to drink, peer pressure to try your first drug, peer pressure to do anything. And it is just an overstep of your own personal boundaries. And I believe as a man, we absolutely need to focus on having those clear, concise, grounded, mature boundaries, because you can influence other men in a really negative way. If you have a really toxic way of projecting onto other men, you can change their way if they haven't got a good understanding of their conscious ability to make a decision. So, as a man, it is our decision to react to peer pressure. How we do it, that is totally up to us. And that is a work of progress that even I still go through now. And I find that when you have a better understanding about your emotions and your emotional intelligence is higher, you tend to find that your boundaries are really important to you, and you don't have to let everyone know your boundaries. They'll know whether they step over those boundaries or not. Peer pressure, hey, like, I'm trying to think of a certain scenario I can give you that peer pressure was applied in my life that made me uncomfortable, but I wouldn't have the day, I wouldn't have the hours to be able to say, of all the influences, especially of someone like myself who was very scared of the world, very scared of not being heard or seen, it's a recipe for disaster for peer pressure, because if someone applied the most minute amount of pressure on me to do something so I can conform or I can fit into a mold, I would have done it without a question, without a boundary, without nothing at all. I would have just went straight at it. And that is why I ended up in the position I was in, where I had no idea about who I was as a person because all I ever done was what everyone else done. I didn't do what I thought I'd do, and I never knew what I wanted to do to a certain degree. So, peer pressure. What's peer pressure to you? How do you perceive peer pressure? And how do you think have you got through it in life, or do you feel like you are still struggling with peer pressure? Do you feel like people still exploit your boundaries? And do you feel like it's not so much people exploiting your own boundaries, that's one factor. The other factor is, do you stand for your own boundaries? Because there are times in life where you'll stretch your own boundaries just to sort of maybe fit in, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you can be a bit too rigid with your boundaries too, but having that little bit of flexibility as well without holding yourself in contempt is a really good way of resilience as well. So think about that one. Peer pressure to you. What is peer pressure to you? Have you got a scenario that you can put into the comments where peer pressure was something or is something that happens to you a lot? Allow me to get the question of the day. Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is a ripper. You ready for it? 1, 2, 3. Are you still living someone else's version of success? Yikes! Have a dead set think about that, because this is really, really apparent in men. What a question. Who come up with that? I did. Why are you living someone else's success? Are you doing something else for someone else because you think that's what it is? Yikes, that's deep. Now I can't stop. My brain's going 100 miles an hour. It's nuts. I'll leave you with that. If you've got anything to put into the comments or discussion about your own boundaries or your own anything, just comment in there. I just can't stop thinking now. That is just such a good question. That is such a good question. I'll read it out to you one more time. That's how good it is. Nice and slow. Are you still living someone else's version of success? Has someone convinced you that this is the way you need to live? And you're just following their blueprint, and it sits nowhere in what you want to be in life?